everybody, and welcome to our next Channeling the Ascension teachings. This month, I'll be channeling the Hathors. So the Hathors are very rise star beings. Some of you are familiar with the Hathors. They actually worked through the goddess Hathor, and there's a lot much more to their story, but they are here to assist us in our ascension journey. Specifically in the teachings of frequency work with sound and light frequency. So I'm very excited to be channeling them today. Before I bring them through, I'm going to read out a pre-channeled message. So the message is from the Hathors. Dear ones, you are journeying through an evolutionary leap of consciousness and in physical form. The nature of your being is frequency. The nature of your consciousness is frequency, created by divine source codes. As such, frequency in terms of sound and light are the very building blocks of your existence and your consciousness expansion. We wish to come through to show you how frequency is now activating the codes within you that is allowing you and the collective transform into elevated states of consciousness in form. It is through frequency technologies that all creation is shaped and expanded upon in perfect harmonic creation. So that is the Hathors. So before I bring them through too, I just want to welcome everybody as well to the session today. So we are joined by session participants. Guys, if you want to say a big hello to the audience.
Hello.
Hi.
And if you're coming across me for the first time, my name is Kimberley and I channel the beings of the light. So yeah, looking forward to bring through the Hathors. So without further ado, I'm actually now going to go into trance and bring forth the Hathors through for you. Dear ones, it is the Hathors coming through this conduit. Dear ones, it is our honor to come through in this way, in this time of great human evolution, in this time of great expansion for your race, my dear ones. Everything that has been occurring within your reality throughout your human life and throughout all the lives that were on this planet has led you to where you are today in this time continuum expression, which you are now existing in. Dear ones, you know by now just how expansive you are. Yet, even with these messages, you cannot comprehend the full structure of your being and the full structure of your consciousness and the full structure of who you are in your purpose here. There have been such teachings throughout your human timelines that has assisted you in the awakening of this knowledge within, this wisdom within, this wisdom that has always been there within you. And just like all those times, those cycles of what you call as golden ages of consciousness, that wisdom is now being rebirthed from within you, dear ones. It is the magic of your being, the magic of the universe, the magic of your being, of source expression, that is now activating more of who you are into this physical reality. For who you are, D1, is much more than a human vessel. For who you are is one that is created by the stars, co-created by advanced ways, that has allowed you to live your life in many different lifetimes here on earth. And as you lived and expressed life on this earth, you have risen the collective consciousness of your race and of the collective, and has allowed you in this reincarnation to be at such a point where you are the way showers and the light workers, where you are at the forefront of creating active changes here. You are in this dimensional experience co-creating the greatest evolution, the greatest golden age that has ever been experienced by you in human form. That is how powerful you truly are, dear ones. And this is what is happening right now. You are activating this wisdom within you. So understand here that all the teachings, all those cycles of golden ages of consciousness, all the wisdom that had filtered through and activated in your conscious awareness as a people is there within you. But understand that all those cycles of time in which the human race was elevated in conscious awareness, understand that where you are today is much more elevated than has ever been expressed. I know, dear ones, that you may look in your society, look in your reality, and you judge this and you see this as somewhat unawakened, but understand you are entering now into a paradigm that has never been experienced on the earth plane before, because you, who you are as a source frequency, is shifting. You are shifting beyond the human form. And as such, these cycles of golden ages will be forever transformed. It will no longer be recreated, these cycles of golden ages. You are now in a paradigm where you have asked for something more expansive. Because you as a collective are now ready to move into the paradigm and the physical existence of who you truly are. The seeds of your creation are now being activated within you, dear ones. You are now starting to remember that you are much more than a human vessel, that you are much more than your guides. You are all that is manifested in what you perceive to be physical form. So we ask you to play with the idea, to get comfortable with the idea that who you are is more than human. So understand all the limitations that you have placed on yourself, all the limitations that you have been conditioned to explore life through, has been for a reason, has allowed you to evolve to such a point that you are now ready for this next stage of human evolution, because you asked for it, because you are here. If you are here expressing life, then you have asked to be in the forefront of this shift. You have actively came here to play the expansive role here, to assist in a direct way to move the collective into, we would say, elevated states of awareness of who they are, who you are. So understand, with these shifts of consciousness, there will be events in your society that allows you to propel you further into this oneness remembered state. And what is oneness remembered state, my dear one? It is a knowing, it is a remembrance that you are much more than your form. You are much more than what you perceive to be a separated being. That you are in fact connected to all living things, that you are one with all living things, because all living things is expressed within you, both energetically and both physically. So play with this idea now that your physical vessel is much more than you can comprehend, for it holds, we would say, certain DNA structures, certain ethereal codes that encompass the codes through Gaia, through which you were born through. Plus, you are now activating certain aspects of your DNA that allows your star seed aspects, your galactic star energies and codes to be reborn and birthed through you. These codes will be shaping the human collective, both in consciousness and both in form. So understand here, because you are moving into this paradigm, understand that there will be times in your reality where you will know this overtly, that you are co-created to be the physical expression of the stars, also of the star beings, because you are much more than any limitation. You perceive yourself to be limited because you perceive your life in a separated way. But understand that everything here is highly advanced. You are highly advanced. Your reality is highly advanced. It's just an illusion of a duality system where you see separation, where you see the untruth of your reality. For it is a time of great awakening, and as such, you are activating this awareness within you of who you truly are in form and in consciousness. Dear ones, it is with such love that we come through today. You are here for a reason. And as such, just by you being here today, by you attending, by you watching or listening to this, you will see further activations for your purpose here. It is not by accident that you are here, dear ones. Do you have any questions today, dear ones?
I have a question.
Yes, dear one.
You mentioned the frequency and technology of frequency. And we have, through Kimberley, we have these sound alchemy sessions and similar things. What other practices are frequency related that you would recommend for us?
D1, all that is energy. All that is frequency. And understand here that the very creation of your being was through sound and light currents. At the very foundation of your being, at the very foundation of your reality, lay source codes. What is source codes? They are imprints from the intelligence of the oneness. It is a creation, an outwardly creation from the single point of source origin, outwardly expanding through dimensions that you perceive to be duality, that appear to be in a polarizing nature. It is all created through the frequencies of sound and light, because that is what you are. Understand that there is an energy signature to light, an energy signature to sound. And with the combination of such frequencies, matter is created. Matter is shaped. And this is how all of reality is created. So understand you are God creators. Understand that you have these abilities within you to co-create, to be a God creator in your physical reality. And there are many abilities that are being rebirthed from you, being activated from within you. Many of these abilities are beyond a human ability. They are all sourced from higher dimensions, what you call to be higher dimensions of yourself. They are from your multidimensional life experience, including those of star being origin. So understand here that all the abilities that are being activated from within you may not have any human comparison, may not be human at all, because you are not human. So understand there are a range of technologies available to you. Understand here that sound, your divine current, is always available to you to access. You can imprint your source current to make the intention to your divine being to allow it to be moved from you outwardly through you. You can make intentions. You can imprint energy through your frequency. Let's do an exercise, shall we? Go within, dear ones. Focus on the golden flame within you, within your heart center. See a golden flame emanating through your heart space. This golden flame is your source self. It is your source essence. This is your source current. This is a connection to your source current. Make the intention now to express your source current. Outwardly, through your vocal cords, make the intention to connect the two together. Make the intention and visualize the golden flame moving into your throat chakra, the vortex of your throat. See this golden flame rise. Make the intention to express your source current outwardly. Make your intention. How would you like your source current to be expressed? What is your intention? Do you intend your source current to activate more of your abilities? Do you intend it to assist you in any ascension symptoms? Or do you intend for it to bring healing? Understand that you are God creators here. And because you are God creators, you can imprint the energy. You can imprint the energy and shape it with your intentions. This is where you are able to create realities and dimensions by attracting those dimensions that you desire to come into your physical reality. You shape dimensions, you create dimensions through your God abilities. So make the intention. What is your intention? So go inwards into your heart space. See this golden flame. Make your intention. See it coming through your throat chakra. Make the intention for it to be expressed outwardly through you, and let go and vocalize it. You might practice it now. You might practice this at a later date. Understand here that how you vocalize can be different, can be unique because you are unique. So understand, let go of what the sound is to be experienced. Let go of any sensations. Let go of what it should look like, how it should sound. Let go and surrender into whatever it is that comes through you. Allow this space to practice. Let's practice this now. We shall be silent for 1 minute. While you practice this coming through you, Kimberley will do this also. And allow these codes coming through to further assist you in this process. Surrender to what is. Do not worry what others around you may think. Let go of control. Just let it be. Let it move through you vocally. Envision this golden light, this golden flame come, expressed through you. See it's coming through your mouth into physical reality. But understand here, to create from this divine current, the source current that runs through you, you are to bring it into physical reality. You can bring this through physical reality, through vocalization. You can bring this through physical reality by you speaking intentions, by you speaking words. So you can do this with sound, with words, into your reality. You can move this even further and imprint liquids, imprint your waters, imprint any elements around you, but understand here that it is the practice of letting go and allowing your own unique source current to move through you. So can you now do this, dear ones? And allow this source current to move through you. Let's spend a minute now connecting to your divine inner current, your source current, and allow it to flow through you. Let's begin. Breathe, dear ones. Did you practice this, dear ones? Did anyone on this call practice this? If you so did, please share your experience.
Well, I just hummed along to Kimberley chanting, so, and I felt like I was adding my divine masculine to the energy because of the resonance of my hum.
That is co-creation. So understand here, you can do this by yourself. You can do this with others. Some of you here today that is attending live in this session through Kimberley's group sessions of Sound Alchemy have experienced this dynamic. So understand you can co-create with others in this way, but understand there are many other ways you can use frequency. Use this in your meditations. Use this to imprint intentions. Play with this. Can you envision dimensions on what you seek? Can you see a dimension that reflects a feeling in which you wish to attract to yourself? You may envision this dimension and use this divine current sound and light to bring this further into to attract this further into your physical reality. You can imprint the waters on which you drink and the waters on which you bathe. You can imprint all elements. You can connect with the elements of Gaia, connect with divine essence that runs through all things. You can connect this with the wind, with the air, with the earth. Use your God creator abilities here, but understand here that when you access these frequency technologies for yourself, you are using a vibrational key to activate and bring forth more of your divine wisdom from within you. It is through frequency where you unlock more of your divinity and have it expressed more into your physical reality. So understand here, it does not have to be a grand exercise. Start from accessing and connecting to the divine current within you, your divine self, and allow it to be expressed outwardly through you. And this is how you co-create in your reality. Understand here, this is how universes and worlds were created, through using technologies of frequency, of sound and light. Understand that these codes, because these codes were used to create your very race, understand that you have access to these abilities within you. Understand that you are much more vast, you are much more expansive than you could ever comprehend. So allow it to be expressed uniquely through you. Yes, Kimberley vocalized some of this divine current through her, but understand yours does not have to sound like hers because you are unique. Can't you see? Do not compare yourself with how it should sound. Surrender to your source current, surrender to the wisdom of your source self and allow it to be expressed from within you outwardly, dear ones. This is just we would say, an example, a small example of just how powerful you are, dear ones. Do you have any other questions today, dear ones?
I have a question.
Yes, dear one.
So, in ancient Egypt, the goddess Hathor what you seated as the goddess Hathor, which I would understand to be at that time a balancing of the divine masculine with the divine feminine. But it seems to me that at this time of ascension, your connection to us is not really to do with divine masculine or divine feminine, but rather just the integration into the oneness. Is this correct?
Dear one, understand that our work through Hathor and through other great beings throughout your human timelines and beyond the human timelines was aligned to the collective soul contracts at the time. So understand that the time on which Hathor was experiencing life in Egypt related to the rising and the rebalancing of the divine feminine with the divine masculine. So understand there were certain activations here and certain intentions that flowed through her that allowed, we would say, the collective to be at a certain frequency point for the human evolution at that point in that time continuum, understanding that it all is correlated to this specific time. So understand here that in this present time continuum, the uniting of the divine feminine and the divine masculine is another form, another, we would say, a terminology that is oneness remembrance. This is the paradigm in which you are exploring. Understand that, yes, there is we would say, an evolution of divine feminine. Understand that is actually being rebalanced now. And this is why there is so much divine feminine energies coming through to rebalance. And as it rebalances with the divine masculine, it creates oneness. It creates a unison. Understand that this balance is already at a certain vibration where oneness dimensions is now, we would say, being explored in your conscious awareness. And it is at this moment of the rebalancing of the divine feminine and masculine that triggers this oneness exploration, and that triggers the activation of what you call as galactic DNA within you. Because understand that for galactic DNA to be activated within you, it is related to paradigms and explorations of oneness. Oneness can only be achieved if there is a union of divine feminine and divine masculine. And this is why you are exploring this paradigm now, because the human collective has got to a certain frequency where there has been a unison of divine feminine and masculine energies to such a point where this next evolutionary exploration is possible. So understand that throughout your human timelines, the teachings and the expressions have been somewhat varied because they related to the dimensional experience of the collective at that time. So understand who you are today is much more advanced than who you were even in the golden ages of Egypt or other ancient civilizations. Understand that even in the height of the golden ages of awareness, who you are today is much more advanced. It is just an illusion of a physical reality where it's not yet reflected, but you are entering into that paradigm. So understand here, it is a movement to oneness remembrance. And how you move into oneness remembrance is now it's the uniting of your separated aspects. So no longer is there we would say, a vital need for the divine feminine to step forward, because that action is already taking place. That moving forwards of the divine feminine to have a equal balance with the divine masculine has already been achieved. Yes, there is still some vibrationary work around this as a collective, but it's in a vibrational vicinity to such a point where you can start to activate this next evolutionary stage here. So your focus now is not so much about raising divine feminine, it is about uniting now your separated aspects. And what are your separated aspects? They are your shadows, they are your beliefs. They are perceptions that you see as separateness. You see Kimberley as separate to you. You see yourself as separate to your family members, to your friends. You see yourself as separate to Mother Gaia, to all the animals. You see separation. And because you're still attached to this perspective, you also still experience fear and love. You experience this polarity, but understand this polarity was needed. Polarity is required for all civilizations to evolve. But understand not all civilizations have to have the polarization of what you call as human fear and human love, because fundamentally who you are and what all reality is unconditional love. So what is unconditional love? It is about being in acceptance of all in your reality, having acceptance of all aspects of you. If you want to actively bridge oneness, to actively take a part in the oneness evolution of your consciousness and inform by assisting in the activation of galactic DNA, not just for yourself, but for the whole race, it is to actively process the inner shadows that is now being brought to the surface. These are your limiting beliefs. These are your thoughts. And these are also beliefs of separateness, of duality. So it calls on you now, if you wish to take an active part in this process, is to unite all those separated aspects of you into oneness by seeing the oneness in all, by seeing the love in all. It is through frequency work where you can bear witness to who you are and the powerful being that you are and the multidimensional being that you are in oneness. Are there parts of you that you are not loving? Are there aspects of your beliefs, even in your parts of your physical vessel, that you cannot accept? Do you judge aspects of you? Do you judge aspects of others? Do you judge aspects of the world? These are your shadows. These are your beliefs on separation. If you judge another, you are judging yourself, because what truly exists is oneness. So it is about changing your perspective to oneness now. It is about changing your beliefs in recognition that all beings are a reflection of you, of the one. Can you see yourself in another? Understand that whenever you are triggered in the moments, they are becoming your mirror to you. So understand that everything is a reflection of you and of oneness, of source. You are source. It is time now to let go of any perceptions of limitation and any perceptions of duality. So you can consciously create and consciously connect with those humans or elements of Gaia to practice this oneness for yourself. Can you connect consciously with people in your reality? Can you have this awareness of who you are? Can you have awareness that they are aspects of you? Can you have this awareness? It may be difficult, but it calls on you now to have awareness around this, one step at a time, dear ones. So use these frequency technologies to unite more aspects of you and to assist in the uniting of the collective consciousness by seeing all as divine, by seeing all as reflections of the one. Because as you do this with your own inner shadows, you assist the collective consciousness, and through doing this work and you using frequency technologies to assist you in this process, you will activate more of your divine abilities from within you. So understand here, through different cycles of your human time, you needed external tools, external technologies to assist you to connect to the divine within you, to assist and activate abilities from within you. But understand that you are so truly advanced, you no longer need these external abilities. You no longer need these external tools to assist you here. It is now all within you, dear ones. So embrace it. It'll be all activated. Understand that we are guides for you. But it takes, we would say, there is a time in your journey here where with these tools that we guide you to use, there is a time when you are called now to step into your power, to move into your abilities now, to express your purpose outwardly through you. Understand that you are the wisdom keepers. You have this information through you, all of your ancestors, past and present, all of your multidimensional lives, higher self aspects, all the wisdom of the universe is within you. It is now being activated and being expressed through you. So it calls on you now to step forward into it, dear ones.
I would like to jump in. So right before this call, I made something disappear into another dimension. Not that I'm freaked out by it or anything like that. It was pretty funny because I'll tell you what it is. Kimberley is in the background, so she'll laugh. I was washing dishes and literally the sponge jumped out of my hands, hit the floor, and was gone. And so I was like, and I remember, and Bijou was with me, my little white dog. There she is. So she was there when she was experiencing it, and it like totally disappeared. And my husband came down, and I, just like a double check, I'm like, can you look underneath the, this piece of furniture that's in our kitchen? And he's like, no, nothing's there. And I'm like, that's what I thought. So this is my question. I do believe things are being activated. This is not the first time that this has happened to me, but, and I know all the answers are within me. And I think I'm moving things. I think I'm playing peekaboo with myself. My higher self is playing peekaboo with me, which is a really fun game. But I was wondering, so I just set the intention because I noticed on this call, you're like, set the intention, set the intention. So I set the intention for the sponge to return. But is there anything else you can give me as a clue to kind of work with this new ability?
Understand here that you are now activating and expressing this ability within you. You are now able to play with dimensions. And how exciting is that you are now witness to just how powerful you are. So understand here, it is happening to you in front of you. You are witness to it to show you just how powerful you are. Yes, my dear one, you can communicate with your dimensional self, with these dimensions. You have the abilities within you. So my dear one, you can play here and make the intention. You can hold an object and make the intention to show itself to you in forms of energy. Because understand here that everything in your physical reality is energy. Mm-hmm. Any object is also energy. So understand here that if you are able to become more sensitive to the energy of objects, you will have more ease of playing with objects throughout the multi-dimension reality in which you exist in. So make the intention to see beyond the physical structure of any object. Make your intention to exist in a multi-dimension. Make your intention to move to a dimension which you cannot see, only for it to return itself to you. You can play here with your intentions, but understand it takes faith here. Understand it takes awareness that you are not moving an actual physical object. You are not moving a physical object to another dimension. You are simply allowing it to be in its pure energetic state, allowing it to vibrate within the energy of all that is, only to then allow it to be transformed back into its physical form in this reality. So understand here, we would like to use this analogy of science fiction we would like to use this analogy of shows such as Star Trek in the action of beaming and teleporting certain objects. Can you see through these human shows that the information, the creativity behind these shows were not all made in make-believe? There was some truth to this action. So understand there is an ability, not just for objects, but for living beings to be able to vibrate in their pure energy form, to allow them to access and move around throughout the multidimensional universe. So understand that, yes, human beings may appear to be more complex. So we would say practice with objects first and play with this openly. Get used to them being not objects, but being energy frequencies aligned to programs of the human nature. It is tied to the program of duality. And once you can let go of this concept of duality, that you are separate from this object, you can, we would say, activate more of your own abilities in becoming one with this object by seeing that you are energy and this object is energy. And because all this energy, you have the ability to, we would say, connect with this object in an energetic way, in a non-physical way. Some of you have had experiences with trying to move objects, and it is this process that is at the foundation of these practices. So understand here, the multiverse is ever present, but this came to you in your awareness to give you a clue of just the abilities you have. So, my dear one, see the object as energy, practice seeing yourself as energy, practice holding this object. Can you see we would say, the connection of energies merging together? Or do you still see it as separate? Understand there is much conditioning here around duality and separateness, but it's this active practice, one step at a time. And once you can perceive it as not separate, that it is energy, you'll have more creative play here in being able to move it in different dimensions. Does this make sense to you, dear one?
It was very helpful. Thank you so much. And it's very helpful to when you said it went back to its natural state, source state. And then, right, because it's all source energy. So that was really helpful. Thank you so much.
D1. You all have this ability. All of you do. Yes, D1?
So this is very helpful in terms of the question that I was also about to ask, Isabel. Thank you for that. I had this inner knowing that I'm going to travel, or not travel, I guess, be in or meet a future state of myself in a different timeline. And first thought that came to me, I was like, yeah, time really doesn't exist because in the end, it's all the same. And I was like, okay, so I understand you connect to that through your present and being completely present and being, as you said, in your pure energy form, in your authentic state. They asked me to ask you that question to how do I travel or meet with my future self. All I was told that I was going to travel and meet my future self in a certain time. And I was like, okay, sure, that can be done, but how do I do that? And they're like, yeah, ask the Hathors. They'll tell you the answer. So what would you expand a little bit more on this in terms of how do I need to shift my own frequency? I know you mentioned to vibrate in your own energy, pure energy form, and let go of the human duality. Those are, yes, definitely stepping stones. But in terms of my own energy frequency, focused on my own individual energy frequency. What is it that I need to shift or learn to be able to do that? Thank you.
D1. As you move towards this ability that all of you have done this by being able to see oneness. It is only in the paradigm, it is only in the, we would say, the beliefs that you are one, where this ability can be activated. It is ability that is aligned to oneness consciousness. As long as you believe there is duality, understand that this ability will have.
We can't hear you.
Are you able to now hear us?
Yes.
Understand, D1, that there has been a practice expressed in your reality by using such techniques. You call this biolocation. It's being able to project into another part of the world, another timeline, in another dimension. So understand here, it is not a practice that happens overnight because you still have strong beliefs about duality of separation. But understand to allow yourself to move towards that ability is to know that you already access your future selves. Do you receive messages? Perhaps it is a vision. Perhaps it is a vision of a perceived future outcome. This is you in a future dimension giving you a message. This is a form of time travel, and it's already existing in your reality, but you may not be paying attention. You may be disregarding it as mere imagination. D1. So understand here that you already have access to your multidimensional self in future reality, what you call as future realities. They are parallel timelines that give you messages all the time, my D1. So what you may see as a vision or an intuition, yes, you may have labeled this as your spirit guides, but understand you in a higher dimensional existence, what you call high dimensional existence, is also showing you messages. So yes, there is an ability for you to project yourself in another reality. So the practice of this would be for mostly practice on oneness techniques, on seeing the oneness in all that is. And this will further activate more steps for you. When you go into your meditation practice, make your intention to connect to another dimension or into another part of the world. Make your intention to remember the travel here. Open your heart, because understand that the resistance to this practice can be stored in programs that are related to the heart energies. It is a portal, both literally and both figuratively. Your heart center is a portal to your multidimensional nature. It is a portal to your source self. It is a portal to explore your multidimensionality. So when you do your meditations, make the intention to connect to your heart space. Make your intentions to, we would say in your first step, to perceive a different dimension, to perceive yourself in another part of the world. Start with these steps. Open yourself and make the intention to receive this experience in your conscious awareness, because understand you are doing this already. It's just that you are not consciously aware of it. When you sleep, you do this. When you go into trance states, you do this. You do this all the time, but you're just not aware of it. So make your intention to remember this experience. Go into your heart space. Again, envision the golden flame, your source self within you. Now see a brilliant white light within it. See this white light expand outwardly. And as you see it expand in your heart center, start to see the energy within this white light. Can you see the patterns? Can you see or feel any sensations? Understand that this is you opening your portal. You will receive the information through this space. Pay attention, open yourself up. You will be shown these dimensions through this space. You may perceive that you are receiving a message. You may have a glimpse of a location around the world. You may see a glimpse of you in a different dimension. This is you consciously remembering this experience. So we would say start with this step, but understand that this step cannot be fully realized if you cannot see the oneness in your reality. So as you expand your belief systems around the nature of oneness, you will then be able to further explore in this way. Dear one.
Thank you for this. This is really, really helpful. The practice, you mentioned practice on oneness technique. So the technique that I always end up practicing about oneness that always pops to my mind is, because my background is Sikhism, and Sikhism philosophy is oneness as well, and that's what they strongly believe in. So I end up like meditating and practicing Sikh prayers or listening to kirtan and things like that. But every time I do listen to those oneness techniques, it just takes me back to 1400s, 1500s, 1600s, but it never takes me to the future. So is there any other oneness technique that you recommend? I know the one you just said, set an intention, see a golden flame and a white light within it. And as soon as I closed my eyes, I had a vision of, a pattern of the portal, which is beautiful. Would you perhaps come in on another meditation to help us with this oneness techniques? That would be really useful. Just a request. Thank you.
All is perfect in oneness, dear one. Understand there is a reason why you are being shown these different timelines. Understand you have some answers there that relates to your soul contracts in this lifetime. So understand that all futures are happening simultaneously. Understand that the future is not written. Understand that there is only parallel realities. Understand it is all existing in the oneness moment of now. So your perception of seeing a future reality and a message from a future self is you accessing one of those probabilities, accessing a dimension which already has the awareness of who you are. There are many different possibilities in future outcomes. And this is why even those of you that may see future outcomes, understand it is the practice of letting go of attachment to it, because understand does not mean that this will materialize exactly in that expression. So understand if there is a resistance to you accessing these messages, there is a reason for it. So understand, my dear one, go with what is shown to you. Understand it is not by accident, or whatever is shown to you is for you as your first step. Once you can receive the messages there and understand why you are exploring a certain dimension of perceived time, then you are able to explore other dimensions of time. So understand it's about letting go of control on how your explorations will be reflected in your reality, but also understand here that everything is happening always for your highest good. If there is a certain a wanted outcome and it's not manifesting in your reality, it's also for your highest good. So it's about letting go and trusting this process, because once you can understand the process, once you can surrender and embrace this process and embrace whatever is shown to you and explore whatever is shown to you, then you'll be automatically have the awareness and abilities of your next step, my dear one.
Thank you so much for this. Just one quick question. You also mentioned sometimes we receive, when we make the intention, we receive the messages either through our own self, or we call angels, or sometimes through our dreams. I do definitely receive a lot of messages through my dreams, and I feel sometimes I see different realities and dimensions, or even in my present moment, an alternate dimension in my present moment and what's happening. And I just have this strong intuition. I was like, well, if I made a different choice, you know, that is what is happening in that time. And I just see vivid visions of it in my dream. Just wanted to ask, are all dreams usually different dimensions of us living, or sometimes dreams are also just a worry or an imagination only?
D1, you are multidimensional in nature, and you do explore the non-physical when you sleep. However, your aspect of who you are that you perceive to be in human form, your ego, which is attached to the human paradigm, goes into play also when you sleep. You do process much of your reality also when you sleep. These are when you experience certain dreams that do not make sense. When you see something that does not appear to be a reality, they can be very abstract. Abstract dreams are generally a sign that it is your ego processing. It is also allowing you to give you messages, but understand the more you align to the messages coming through you intuitively, the more you allow your navigation to be one of guidance. As you open yourself up to navigate your reality through the knowings that come to you, through your intuition, there will be less need for the ego to give you messages, to give you information through its processing state in these abstract dreams. So understand there are these elements that can come through depending on your stage of human evolution. Understand here that dreams that reflect a certain reality structure, this is you exploring your multidimensional life experience. Often at time you do not remember these dreams, but you can make the intention to remember. Sometimes when you awaken, you remember, but then in 1 minute after you forget it. So use the practice of keeping a journal next to you. So upon awakening, you can write that down or voice record the information that comes through. And as you do this practice, you'll further, we would say, strengthen this connection to this experience in your conscious awareness state. So yes, you explore non-physical when you sleep, and you can make your intentions on which dimension you wish to explore at night. Understand that any dimension that you visit is always for your highest good. Even ones that may seem fearful for you, understand that it all relates to your experience in the now. It is here to give you, if you remember it, it is here to give you messages. So make the habit of recording these experiences down, but also understand that messages are being shown to you also through the ego mind. So the more you do your inner work, the more you do your processing, the more you surrender to the power of the divine you in receiving information, acting on information, not from the ego mind, but from the heart center, from your intuitive state, there'll be less need for your ego to process as you sleep.
Thank you.
D1. Is there any other questions today, D1s? dear ones, understand that who you are is so highly advanced. Understand that who you are is transforming in every single way. And because you are transforming in form, your reality will shift to accommodate this frequency shift. As the collective consciousness shifts, so does the human vessel, for there is no separation here, dear ones. So understand here that you are entering a paradigm that has never been experienced for the humankind. So understand that any golden ages in which you've existed, in which you have remembered who you are, was relevant for that time, was relevant for the collective soul contracts at the time, but understand that you are moving into a new era. You are moving into a new expression of physicality and physical reality. This is why there are so many of us coming through in this direct way to guide you in the wisdom, in the practices that you already know, that is already within you. We are your guides to assist in the activation for yourself, for you to step forward in your own divinity, dear ones. For it is time now to step into your purpose, to step into your light. You are shifting the whole collective consciousness just by you being here, just by you practicing awareness of who you are in your reality. If you have a desire to assist in the collective shift, make the conscious practice of uniting the separated aspects of you through love, through the frequency of unconditional love. This is who you are. But understand, yes, fear may still be experienced because the collective is still attached to duality and the polarization mechanism of fear. But understand, as the collective moves and expands into more of its oneness state, the polarity mechanism that creates the evolution for your race will also shift. So understand here, it is just embracing every moment of your reality. Understand that all the soul lessons, the teachings are within your reality. What you see as your mundane reality is a highly advanced reality playing a game for you to allow you to go through certain explorations to activate that wisdom and abilities within you, dear one. It is with such love that we come through today. As you, as an aspect of you, understands that we are one, understands that you are one with all that is. You have the ability to tap into the multidimensional nature of oneness. Yes, you are unique. Yes, you perceive to be separate, but understand you are a unique frequency of source. And because you are a unique frequency of source, you have unique abilities, but you are always connected to oneness. Dear one, that is who you are. It is with love that we come through today as an activator for your journey. Until next time, farewell.